Right now, on July 19th, Archangel Michael says, the number written under your pillow is not from this world. Open and listen carefully. You woke up with a whisper in your chest and a number pulsing at the back of your mind. It was well known. It wasn't shown to you in a dream you could remember clearly. Yet there it was, etched in feeling, burning in silence, shivering just beneath the veil. This morning is not like other mornings. This one carries weight. This one is different. Archangel Michael has spoken, and what he revealed was not just for your ears. It was for the timeline you've been trying to escape. The number written under your pillow was never a symbol of fate. It was a message from beyond the gridlines of this world. You didn't place it there. No one did. It wasn't left on a note. It arrived in the same way lightning splits the sky, sudden, divine, and full of judgment. What you're holding in your spirit is not an accident. This is the proof you've been waiting for, the key to a lock you didn't know existed. July 19th marks more than a date on a calendar. It marks a divine visitation. Heaven interrupted your sleep to deliver coordinates that don't exist on Earth. The message was encoded not in words, but in frequency. You don't remember the dream, but the dream remembers you. You're not crazy for waking up with a strange urgency. You're not lost for feeling like something is watching over you. That number is not just data, it's alignment. Michael doesn't waste appearances, and he doesn't speak unless the realm has shifted. Right now, something is being unlocked in your life. The forgotten, the buried, the stolen, it's all being recalled. And not just for nostalgia. It's being recalled for restoration. You are standing in the doorway of a turning point. What happens next will not be fair, but it will be divine. Every spiritual system you've studied, every dream journal you've kept, every strange moment of coincidence has been preparing you for this. The number under your pillow is the tip of a sword, a signal, a countdown. But it is also a question. Are you finally ready to respond, or will you try to go back to sleep? Because now, there is no going back. Something eternal has touched your ordinary, and it will not leave until the assignment is fulfilled. This moment is your spiritual inheritance knocking from the inside, and the one who waits for your answers already inside the room. Type I am ready to receive the blessing 7140. They said the veil was thin that night, not just between sleep and waking but between realms. You might have felt it, that cold sweep across your chest at 2:33 a.m. The creak of your ceiling though no wind stirred outside. Something ancient stirred when Archangel Michael placed that number under your pillow. Not inked on paper, not carved by hand, but imprinted in light. The number vibrated with an intelligence that wasn't human. When you woke up and found yourself staring at the corner of your room without knowing why, it was because your spirit was still elsewhere, deciphering what had been given. This wasn't a dream. It was a delivery. And the room became your receiving chamber. A number wasn't random. It was coded with your name, the real one. The one heaven knows. Michael didn't leave you a message. He left you an invitation. The number was a gate. And because you didn't tear it up, because you didn't roll over and forget the weight you felt on your chest, something in the spiritual realm opened wider. This wasn't about symbols. This was about alignment. You were aligned in that moment, even if your body was unaware. The number under your pillow responded to something ancient in your bloodline, something that always waited to be awakened. And now, the awakening has begun. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 7221. From the corners of forgotten dreams came images you didn't understand. A child without a face, doors that opened to staircases made of flame, a white feather falling but never hitting the ground. These were not hallucinations. They were divine film strips unrolling across your memory. The number under your pillow was not just for you. It was for every version of you that ever existed. The you who failed. The you who escaped. The you who never got the chance. Michael is calling them all to gather inside you. You are becoming more than yourself. That's why you've been feeling dizzy. It's not disorientation. It's expansion. You are not late. You are not broken. You are not lost. The delay was part of the plan. That number waited until your resistance thinned, until your fear could no longer hold up the walls around your spirit. Now, the instructions have changed. Your old life cannot return. Don't even try to resuscitate it. Everything from here must be done with angelic precision. You don't need to understand yet. You only need to respond. And the way you respond is not with logic. It's with surrender. Heaven doesn't require your understanding, only your availability. Type I am anointed to get blessing 8944. You may feel tired, but that's only because the fight has shifted. You're no longer resisting people. You're now contending with atmosphere. That strange heaviness you feel around others. It's not judgment. It's misalignment. Their frequency is stuck in a timeline you've already exited. Don't shrink to make them comfortable. The number under your pillow didn't appear so you could hide it under your fear. It came to destroy your delay. And as it burns through the residue of yesterday, your vision will become brutal and clear. Some things must be left behind violently. Do not apologize for leaving the door wide open, but never returning. Let the dreams continue. Let the messages confuse you. That's how you know they're not from your ego. Your spirit is remembering how to translate spiritual messages. Do not ask your earthly mind to decode heavenly scrolls. Let the number live. Let it breathe in you. Tape it to your mirror. Speak it when you rise. Even if it makes no sense, trust that heaven operates in symbols before it manifests in instructions. That number is not a puzzle to be solved. It is a seed waiting to crack open. What blooms from it will change the next decade of your life. Let your pillow become an altar. Sleep is no longer a break. It is an activation. Michael will return tonight, perhaps with another number, perhaps with a name. Do not swat away the dream. Do not distract yourself when the vision comes. Be still. Record what you see. Even the nonsense. Especially the nonsense. Patterns are forming, and patterns are how heaven speaks to the obedient. Your obedience has already changed your frequency. The realm knows you now, and it has started to respond. Type I am rising to get the blessing 9072. Some messages are so divine that earth cannot hold their full meaning. That's why the number left under your pillow didn't come with an explanation. It came with an energy. You weren't meant to understand it all at once. You were meant to feel it. Michael's message wasn't a code to be cracked. It was a rhythm your soul already knew. The moment you touched that number, whether in dream, in thought, or in waking intuition, your old reality began to fracture. That's why you've been feeling displaced, like this world is somehow too small for you now. The number didn't just arrive. It activated you. The old you would have ignored the signs. But something shifted this time. When your soul felt that pull, like being yanked awake from 1,000-year sleep, you didn't run. You listened. You watched. You felt the language of heaven stirring beneath your ribs. The number wasn't just from another place. It came from before time. a signature sealed in eternity, addressed to you, from a source that never forgot your name. Archangel Michael doesn't just pass through unless heaven has issued a declaration. A declaration. You are out of time. It's not a threat. It's an appointment. Type I am appointed to get the blessing 6339. This is why everything feels like it's cracking around you. Relationships are shaking. Patterns are breaking. Your sense of belonging is being rewired. That number was a key, and when you touched it, locks began to unseal themselves. These aren't just external changes. These are tectonic shifts inside your spirit. What you thought was instability is actually divine realignment. The pain is sacred. The confusion is confirmation. The noise around you is a sign that darkness is panicking, because it knows something has been awakened in you that can't be put back to sleep. You might not recognize your own emotions anymore. That's because your emotional compass is no longer pointing toward survival. It's pointing toward destiny. What made you comfortable last week now feels suffocating. What once satisfied you now feels hollow. This is not a crisis. It's a calling. A number under your bell was not meant to comfort. It was meant to confront. Michael didn't visit to soothe you. He came to slice open the veil. And what you see through that veil will either make you kneel or make you run. Choose kneeling. It's faster. Type I am shifting to get blessing 8883. Have you noticed the strange light in your room at night? The flicker that doesn't match the streetlight outside? Or the way your body jolts awake without knowing why? That's the realm acknowledging your activation. The number was not local. It was spiritual, dimensional, eternal. It signaled to every watcher, angel, and adversary. You have been called forward. That's why your sleep is different. That's why time feels strange. You're no longer operating in linearity. The realm around you is responding to the code that was once dormant in your spirit, and now it's awake. The strange dreams you're having, they aren't random. The repeated numbers you're seeing, a coincidence. The voices you hear when everything else is quiet. You're not imagining them. Your senses have expanded because the seal has been lifted. The number was your unlocking. It carried permission from heaven's throne for your elevation. You are now living in the in-between, not where you were and not yet where you're going. That space is sacred. Guard it. Do not explain it away to those who have not been marked like you. What is happening to you is rare and irreversible. The number was not from this world because your assignment is not from this world. This is why Michael came. This is why the veil was lifted during your sleep. This is why you woke up sensing everything had shifted even though nothing outside had changed. You are under spiritual construction now, and heaven does not pause its work for human comfort. Let the shaking continue. Let the fire burn what cannot come with you. You are being stripped down to the name heaven calls you by. Soon, that name will appear, and it will not be familiar, but it will be holy. If this word has spoken to your heart and sparked a new boldness within you, we invite you to sow a super thanks of $20. Your support helps us continue to share prophetic wisdom, encouragement, and strength with those walking the road from pain to promise. You can also stand with us by donating through PayPal. Just click the support here link in the video description. Every gift, big or small, makes a real difference and helps us reach more people with messages of hope and direction. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of divine encouragement, spirit-led insight, and timely truth crafted to move you forward in your journey. Type I'm rising to get the blessing 9901. Your bed is no longer just a resting place. It has become a spiritual gateway, a consecrated zone. Since the night Michael left the number beneath your pillow, your room has hosted more than silence. There are watchers now, angels positioned not to interfere but to observe. They are watching to see how you respond, how you interpret the language of light that was sent to you in number form. You may feel chills in certain corners. You may notice how your ears ring just before sleep. These are not symptoms. They are signatures. Your space has been marked by visitation. Do not be afraid of the presence. It's not there to haunt. It's there to confirm. The number wasn't left by accident. Michael's movements are precision incarnate. His messages land like lightning. Exact, timed, unavoidable. You were chosen to receive something that can't be taught in books or sermons. This number is a key to your spiritual ancestry, a door that only your soul could recognize. And now that it's unlocked, everything around you has to rearrange. Some people will walk away from you without reason. Don't chase. Their departure was scheduled the moment the number arrived. Type I am separated for glory to get the blessing 7717. You may find yourself waking between 3 and 4 a.m., heart racing, tears on your cheeks with no memory of a dream. That is when Michael returns to whisper instructions your conscious mind isn't ready for. Heaven often downloads information in sleep because your logic is finally quiet. You won't remember everything, but the energy stays. That trembling in your chest when you wake up isn't fear, it's recognition. You've seen what's coming. Not in full but in flash. And that flash is now guiding your actions, shifting your behavior, elevating your intuition. You are no longer allowed to shrink. The number sealed that fate. You might have been quiet before, hesitant, always calculating risk. That version of you expired the moment you accepted the assignment in your spirit. This number was not a request, it was an announcement. A seal has been broken. An ancient permission hath been released. And with it, your ordinary life is being traded for something sacred. The shaking you feel is heaven making room inside you. Don't resist it. Expand. You were always meant to carry more than this. Type I am expanding to get blessing 6802. Every spiritual encounter carries a mirror. The number under your pillow is now revealing everything you didn't want to see about yourself, your fears, your doubts, your compromises. Let it all rise. You cannot purify what you refuse to confront. That's why things are surfacing suddenly. Emotions you buried, memories you forgot, guilt you never voiced. The number didn't just unlock your future. It opened a vault of everything that must be healed before you step into it. But don't worry. What is being exposed is not being judged. It's being prepared. You are being sanctified for something the enemy thought you'd never survive to see. This is why old temptations are resurfacing. Not to test your strength, but to reveal your growth. The you from 3 months ago would have responded differently. The you from last year wouldn't even recognize this moment. But now you sense what's holy even when it's unspoken. You feel danger before it knocks. That's spiritual maturity. That's the reward of having heaven touch your name. This number wasn't a decoration. It was a declaration. You have been upgraded. And now the atmosphere around you will be forced to acknowledge your promotion. The number was not from this world because your spirit no longer lives by this world's laws. You will be misjudged. You will be misunderstood. Some will accuse you of arrogance when you're only walking in obedience. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them leave. You weren't marked to be popular. You were marked to be precise. And precision requires solitude. Your solitude is not punishment. It's incubation. Michael didn't choose a crowd. He chose you. And now the realm is watching to see what you do with the number heaven trusted you to carry. Type I am chosen to carry fire to get the blessing 9909. While the rest of the world lay under the lull of their daily routines, you were visited. No alarms, no trumpet blast, just stillness. That's how heaven prefers to move when the assignment is heavy. The number under your pillow didn't appear because of your perfection. It appeared because of your availability. Michael was sent on July 19th for those who had unknowingly kept the lamp burning. And whether you knew it or not, your spirit had been calling. Heaven simply answered. That number was not a surprise to your soul. It was a reunion, a reawakening of your original coordinates. You were born with divine intelligence buried in your DNA. The dreams you had as a child, the strange visions that no one believed, those weren't random. They were echoes of your spiritual ancestry, dormant and waiting for reactivation. When the number touched your space, the signal struck your bloodline first. That's why your family has been acting strange. That's why old stories are resurfacing and hidden generational secrets are being exposed. The number unearthed what was buried beneath years of silence. You're not just awakening, you're cleansing centuries of delay. Type I am the first to break it to get the blessing 8642. Your sleep has been strange because your spirit is working overtime. Time is collapsing around you, and what was once slow now happens quickly. Conversations feel deeper. Small actions create massive ripple effects. You feel emotions more intensely, and memories surface with unfamiliar clarity. This is not emotional instability, it's sensitivity. The veil has been lifted. You're now operating with spiritual sight, even if you don't fully understand how. That number didn't come to teach you, it came to unlock you. The teaching will follow the obedience, but the obedience had to come first. Your pillow is now an altar. Treat it like one. Speak into it before you sleep. Place intention beneath it as if you are planting a seed. Michael visited because the next 7 months of your life require supernatural navigation. Earthly wisdom won't do. You can't guess your way through what's coming. You must be led. That number was a map, cryptic in form but divine in direction. It doesn't show roads. It shows resonance. Go where the vibration matches. If something feels off, if someone's presence weakens your clarity, they cannot stay. Type I am aligned to get blessing 7551. The reason you're losing your appetite for certain places and people is because you're being spiritually rewired. Frequencies that once felt familiar now feel invasive. Conversations that once entertained you now exhaust you. That's not pride, it's prophecy. Your spirit is rejecting the environments it can no longer survive in. It's the power of divine visitation. It doesn't just shift your spirit, it reconstructs your taste. And once your taste changes, you'll stop begging for what no longer feeds you. You're not being picky. You're being protected. Michael removed the veil, and now your discernment is sharper than ever. You may try to explain yourself to others, but don't expect them to understand. You were not visited for validation. You were visited for elevation. When heaven begins a new chapter in someone's life, it often requires a season of silence. Protect the number. Do not reveal it to people who don't carry the capacity to honor it. This is not the time for open hands. This is the time for guarded gates. Every instruction that follows will be spiritual first, logical second. Honor the order. Heaven always starts in mystery before it reveals the map. The number was never meant to make sense immediately. It was meant to pierce. It was meant to crack through your indifference and awaken your divine identity. And now, you're awake. Now, the shaking begins. But you will not fall. You were chosen to carry what others ignored. This is your chapter of separation, revelation, and divine recalibration. Stay open. Stay grounded. Heaven isn't done with you. This is only part of the message. Michael has more to say. And when he returns, you'll understand why he started with a number and not a name. Type "I am listening" to get the blessing 9184. The number under your pillow was more than a code. It was a scroll. A spiritual document folded into light, invisible to the natural eye, yet burning with assignment. What have been stirred in you since that night is not just sensitivity, it is sacred literacy. You are beginning to read what was sealed in heaven before your body ever touched earth. This is why you've been dreaming in symbols and feeling phrases stir inside you like wind through a torn sail. The scroll is unwinding, and the number was heaven's way of handing it to you in silence, trusting your spirit to remember. Everything in your life since that night has been under divine review. Conversations are revealing more. Patterns are breaking faster. Even your reactions feel foreign to you. That is not confusion. It is calibration. The scroll is changing your frequency, and what doesn't match it will begin to fall away. This includes certain friendships, job paths, emotional habits. You may want to hold on, but heaven will not let you. The number came with force, and what it began, no man, no fear, no mistake can stop. Type "I am aligned by fire" to get the blessing 6412. There's a reason Michael didn't speak the number aloud. If it were spoken too soon, it would have shattered what needed to be dismantled gently. Heaven doesn't just give you answers, it gives you encounters. You were not given this moment to boast about it. You were given this moment to be remade by it. That is why silence feels heavy now. That's why you feel like your spirit is digesting something even when your body is still. It's not your imagination. The scroll is unfolding with every breath you take. The number didn't come to inform you. It came to transform you. You're not walking the same way. You're not speaking the same way. That's because your vibration is climbing with every second. This number is accelerating your timeline. Decisions you were going to make next year are now being pushed into your now. The people you thought you'd need forever are suddenly losing relevance. This is not cruelty. This is clarity. The scroll is not just a message, it is a command. You were not born to live by delay, and the number was heaven's formal announcement that your delay has expired. Type "I am moving on heaven's time" to get blessing 7097. Your physical body might feel the pressure. Tight chests, strange fatigue, unexplained heat in your hands or feet. These are not medical errors. These are divine disruptions. Heaven doesn't just touch your soul. It moves through your body. The scroll is not just spiritual. It is energetic. You are being recalibrated at a cellular level. Even your blood knows something has shifted. That's why it's rejecting old toxins, people, and habits. Honor the symptoms. They are signals. Your body is catching up with what your spirit already knows. You have crossed into a different frequency. Prophetic memory is being activated in you. That's why you suddenly feel drawn to books, languages, or images you've never studied but somehow know. That's why you're crying at things that wouldn't have moved you before. You are not becoming emotional. You are remembering your divine self. The scroll has triggered sacred memory, and heaven is revealing pieces of your calling through what moves your soul. Watch closely. What draws your tears reveals your mantle. And what silences your mouth may be what God is trying to get you to finally speak. Michael did not leave the scroll in your spirit by mistake. He delivered it with the authority of heaven, sealed with urgency, and wrapped in fire. You have a duty to honor it, not with panic, but with precision. You may not understand every symbol yet, but the obedience to hold space for the unknown is obedience enough. More instructions will follow. Until then, hold the number in your mouth like a prayer. Sleep with intention. Wake with awareness. You are not who you were last week. The scroll is alive, and it has only begun to speak. Type I am the scroll bearer to get the blessing 9333. There is a name buried inside you that only heaven knows. It is not the name you were given at birth. It is not the one on your passport, nor the one spoken by your loved ones. It is a name forged in light, sealed in a realm untouched by time. That name, your true identity, has remained dormant, waiting for the code that could awaken it. That code is the number Michael placed beneath your pillow. The moment it touched your spirit, the hidden name stirred, and the angelic realm took notice. You may not hear it yet, but you will feel its echo every time you speak with power you didn't know you carried. The number didn't just carry meaning, it carried memory. It summoned the version of you that never bowed to fear, that never forgot why you came to earth. It's why you felt your voice shifting. It's why you've started recognizing patterns, seeing through lies, and walking away from what once held you hostage. Your hidden name is aligning with your daily choices. And when your actions match your original name, portals open. This is why spiritual interference is increasing. The realm of darkness is not afraid of your title, it is afraid of your identity. And that identity just got activated. Type I remember my name to get the blessing 8044. Every time you whisper that number to yourself, you are signaling heaven to reveal the next piece of your purpose. You may feel chills when you say it aloud. You may feel pressure in your chest. That is spiritual confirmation. Don't run from it. Repeat it until the silence bends around you. That number wasn't random. It's the numerical key to your scroll. Michael left it because he knew the dream was too complex to explain in images. So instead, he left a vibration, a sound, a frequency disguised as numbers. And when it hit your spirit, it found the name God breathed over you before you were born. This is why you felt nostalgic for things you've never experienced. A longing isn't for a person or a place, it's for alignment. That ache in your soul is your spiritual name whispering its way back into your awareness. You are being recalled, not by man, not by memory, but by destiny. Don't ignore the signs, the repeated numbers, the waking visions, the music that moves you without reason. Your name is responding. And once heaven starts calling you by it again, your current environment may no longer recognize you. That's not rejection. That's recalibration. Type I am becoming unrecognizable to get blessing 7770. There are moments when you'll want to retreat, when the pressure of carrying something so unseen will feel unfair. But this burden is not punishment. It's prophecy in motion. Your hidden name comes with weight. You cannot carry it and still beg for validation. You cannot wear it and still seek approval from people who only know your former self. The number that was given was your release form from smallness. You are now a carrier of divine identity. And that identity will provoke people, shift rooms, and disrupt atmospheres. That's how you'll know it's real. You are entering a phase where silence will protect you more than explanation. Let the number guide your prayer life. Let it be the password you whisper before sleep. You may not yet know what it unlocks, but the spirit realm already responds when you speak it. The number is not for conversation. It is for communion. Use it with reverence. Michael placed it with intention. And heaven is watching to see how you carry what others were too distracted to receive. This is not a moment. It is an anointing. The number was not from this world because the name it woke up in you does not belong to this world either. You were formed for more than survival. You were formed to disrupt the cycles your bloodline never had the courage to break. That's why your journey has been so heavy. That's why you never fit in. You were never meant to. Your name was always echoing elsewhere. And now, the number has turned up the volume. The realm has recognized your return. Welcome back to yourself. If this word has spoken to your heart and sparked a new boldness within you, we invite you to sow a super thanks of $20. Your support helps us continue to share prophetic wisdom, encouragement, and strength with those walking the road from pain to promise. You can also stand with us by donating through PayPal. Just click the support here link in the video description. Every gift, big or small, makes a real difference and helps us reach more people with messages of hope and direction. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of divine encouragement, spirit-led insight, and timely truth crafted to move you forward in your journey. Type "I'm identified in heaven" to get the blessing 8629. The number written under your pillow wasn't just a message to you. It was a warning to the realm of darkness. It announced your awakening, your re-entry into divine alignment. The spirits that once hovered quietly over your timeline suddenly scattered, startled by the authority now resting over your name. Michael didn't come just to comfort you. He came to draw a line in the unseen. That number is now etched into your spiritual file. Every adversary who once had access have been restricted. Their keys have been revoked. This is why you felt both pressure and peace at once. The number shook your foundation, but it also sealed your gates. And so the warfare began, not in your body, but in your atmosphere. Strange delays, miscommunications, old temptations knocking in familiar ways. These aren't coincidences. These are desperate reactions. The darkness cannot undo the number, so it tries to confuse your focus. Don't fall for it. Don't give your energy to what has already been defeated. You are not in a battle to win. You are in a battle to remember. And the number is your reminder. It vibrates in the unseen as a declaration. You have been claimed, and you cannot be touched the same way again. Type "I am already covered" to get the blessing 7741. What you're feeling is resistance to your elevation. Everything in your life that is not assigned to your next dimension will now begin to push against you or fall away completely. Let it. Don't grieve what leaves you after the number arrives. Their departure is divine compliance. Your spirit has shifted alignment, and old energies cannot breathe in your new atmosphere. You're not being abandoned. You're being cleared for flight. And though it feels like isolation, it's actually insulation. Heaven is wrapping you tightly while the blueprint for your next assignment is drawn. The number wasn't meant to sit quietly under your pillow. It was meant to rearrange your priorities. That's why you can't tolerate what you used to settle for. That's why certain shows, songs, and conversations suddenly feel too loud, too empty, too cheap. Your spirit is being retuned, and the noise of the world no longer satisfies. You are being redirected toward sacred spaces, secret places, and holy patterns. Follow them. Heaven will never elevate you without first editing you. And right now, you are being edited by fire and code. Type "I'm under divine editing" to get blessing 8898. Don't be surprised when people say you've changed. You have. Not for trance, not for ego, but for truth. You were never meant to stay in a version of yourself that forgot who you were. That number awakened your identity, not your public image, but your original form. The version of you that walks with clarity, speaks with precision, loves with fire, and doesn't shrink to fit any room. That's why your silence has become loud. That's why your presence now convicts people even when you say nothing. You are becoming a walking scroll, and the number was the signature that authorized it. Every room you now enter feels different because you carry evidence. Even your absence will begin to speak. You are no longer tolerated by the shadows. You are watched, studied, sometimes even imitated. Don't shrink under this weight. Own it. Carry it. But carry it wisely. Not everyone deserves access to what heaven has downloaded into you. The number did not make you better than others. It made you more accountable. You've been trusted with unseen knowledge. And now, you must walk like you've seen what others haven't. Let the warfare come. Let the shadows hiss. Let the old patterns scream for attention. You are no longer bound by any of them. Michael left that number as a weapon disguised as a whisper. When you hold it in your spirit, you are armed. When you speak it in prayer, dimensions bend. When you act in alignment with it, portals open. This is not poetry. This is preparation. You are being made into something rare. The number wasn't just for you. It was for the future version of you who knows how to protect heaven's secrets with silence and fire. Type I'm armed with light to get the blessing 9270. You've been feeling it, haven't you? The way the number lingers in your mind when you're doing something mundane. The way your body pauses just before you fall asleep. The number wasn't just a single event. It was the spark that set 1,000 shifts in motion. At first, it stayed still, quiet like a seed. But now, it's moving. You're not imagining it. The code has begun to pulse inside you. It's not from this world, so your earthly body is struggling to hold it. You feel heavy and light at the same time. Grounded, yet drawn towards something unseen. Michael didn't just leave you a number. He left you a carrier wave. You are transmitting a frequency now that others around you are subconsciously reacting to. That's why they either lean toward you or recoil. That's why some are drawn to you, but don't know why they feel exposed in your presence. The number activated a truth inside you that forces everything false to flee. It is the sound of alignment. And alignment is loud in the realm of delay. You are not being rejected. You are revealing. Type I'm vibrating with truth to get the blessing 8713. This new weight isn't punishment. It's purpose unfolding. You'll notice your appetite for entertainment is decreasing. You're craving stillness, clarity, precision. You used to tolerate distractions because your vision was blurry. But the number has begun to clear the fog. Now you see differently. You sense energy before words. You decode silence. You read situations like scrolls. You are not becoming strange. You are becoming activated. The code was not meant to decorate your pillow. It was meant to rewire your lens. And now, what others miss, you discern instantly. The shaking in your inner world is a result of new patterns forming in the spiritual realm. Heaven never just drops a number. It reorganizes reality around it. People may think you're indecisive now, but what they don't know is that you're following microsignals from the throne. Every step you take now has spiritual weight. That's why shortcuts no longer appeal to you. That's why you can't force connections anymore. If it's not holy, it will feel hollow. And hollow things can't follow you into this next dimension. Type I am rejecting the hollow to get blessing 7088. As the number moves in you, it begins to call forth divine appointments. You'll notice moments of déjà vu becoming more frequent. You'll walk into conversations that confirm dreams you didn't even share. This isn't luck. This is orchestration. The number you were given was a countdown clock, and the countdown has begun. Every action matters now. Small obedience will unlock massive shifts. Do not underestimate the power of what feels insignificant. Heaven works through whispers before it roars, and your whisper is starting to echo across realms. You might also be feeling time stretch and shrink in odd ways. Minutes pass like hours. Days vanish in what feels like seconds. This is the elasticity of spiritual alignment. You are no longer moving through time the way others do. The number recalibrated you for kingdom pace. Heaven has its own rhythm, and you are now learning to walk in beat with it. It may feel lonely. It may feel isolating. But this is sacred solitude. You are being synchronized. Every movement, every thought, every decision is now marked. There's no going back to ordinary. Don't wait for validation. What has been awakened in you will not always be understood by those who haven't been activated. Some will label you strange. Others will call you distant. Let them speak. Their confusion is proof you've moved. Heaven didn't give you that number for applause. It gave it for alignment. Carry it with reverence. Speak it when you forget who you are. Whisper it when fear creeps in. It is your proof, your passport, your protection. The number is not done moving, and soon it will speak. Type I am walking in the movement to get the blessing 9541. The number left under your pillow was never meant to be understood immediately. It came wrapped in confusion on purpose, because if you could explain it too soon, you ruin the unfolding. Michael didn't bring you a conclusion. He brought you coordinates. Not for geography, but for timing. This is why your sense of urgency has changed. You now feel late for something you can't describe. The number is working like a silent compass, shifting your feet even when your plans try to stay still. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, it's leading you toward something ancient, something promised. There are places you've started avoiding without explanation. Rooms you once felt safe in now feel stale. People who once energized you now feel heavy. That's not moodiness. It's mapping. The number is rejecting anything outside your destiny's coordinates. You are no longer allowed to orbit around distractions. This is not punishment. It is divine scheduling. The number has locked you into a divine itinerary, and delays can no longer exist in your life the way they once did. Heaven is now enforcing momentum. Type I am moving by map to get the blessing 7885. You're not waiting on a sign anymore. You are the sign. People are starting to notice you walk differently, respond differently, exist differently. That's what happens when a number from another realm is stitched into your energy field. You don't need to explain the shift. Your transformation will do the talking. The number is guiding you away from survival-based instincts and into destiny-based obedience. That's why fear is losing its grip. That's why doubt can't land the same way it used to. The code didn't come to convert. It came to convert. And you are being converted into your truest form. This is also why your dreams are becoming more vivid. You're not simply processing thoughts. You are being briefed by heaven. Instructions are being released in pieces, through sound, symbol, sequence. Don't dismiss the imagery. That black door, the blue flame, the child holding a key, these are not random. The number has given you access, and now the briefings have begun. This is not superstition. This is spirit-level intelligence. Journal everything, even the pieces that make no sense, especially those. The prophetic always looks like nonsense before it becomes navigation. Type I am decoding the vision to get blessing 9666. If the number was a map, then your obedience is the vehicle. That's why you've been feeling divine resistance every time you try to do things your old way. What used to work no longer functions. Systems that once yielded results now feel blocked. That's not failure, it's redirection. The number did not come to upgrade your former path. It came to replace it. You are no longer being asked to build where you once were. You are being summoned forward. The moment you embrace this, things will accelerate. But not until then. Obedience unlocks movement. The spiritual resistance you're experiencing is proof of the map's legitimacy. The moment the number was delivered, the path was altered, and everything tied to your former trajectory began to fight your detachment. But includes people, patterns, and plans. But don't misread their discomfort as your obligation. You are not assigned to soothe what your growth disrupts. You were not anointed to make everyone feel safe. You were called to fulfill the map, and that fulfillment will require distance from what once defined you. The number is not sentimental. It's strategic. You've reached the part of the path where visibility decreases. You won't be able to explain your next steps even to yourself. But that's the requirement. Blind obedience. Sacred navigation. You will hear whispers when you use it to need confirmation. You will feel wind when you use it to demand doors. Trust the subtle. Michael doesn't leave loose ends. If he gave you the number, the map exists. And if the map exists, the destination is real. You will arrive. Not by guessing, but by surrendering to the invisible path laid out in code. If this word has spoken to your heart and sparked a new boldness within you, we invite you to sow a super thanks of $20. Your support helps us continue to share prophetic wisdom, encouragement, and strength with those walking the road from pain to promise. You can also stand with us by donating through PayPal. Just click the support here link in the video description. Every gift, big or small, makes a real difference and helps us reach more people with messages of hope and direction. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of divine encouragement, spirit-led insight, and timely truth crafted to move you forward in your journey. Type I am on the divine path to get the blessing 9002. The number once felt like a whisper, but now it feels like a sword. Jibe. Dividing. Apologetically surgical. It's not slicing people from your life. It's slicing illusions. The illusions you had about yourself, about others, about what you thought you needed to survive. This is what divine precision feels like. Heaven doesn't use scalpels, it uses frequency. And when that frequency touches your life, everything misaligned gets exposed. The number beneath your pillow wasn't for decoration. It was for distinction. You are no longer allowed to walk around unclear. You are now required to walk with discernment like a blade. Michael didn't hand you a weapon made of steel. He handed you one made of code. That number was encoded with holy division. The ability to separate truth from appearance. Assignment from attachment. And now it is doing its job. Your inner world is undergoing surgery, and you're not even under anesthesia. You feel it while you're awake. You feel the separation mid-sentence, mid-habit, mid-thought. The old you is being carved away by light. Let it go. Stop clinging to what the sword has already deemed expired. Type I am cut from the old to get the blessing 8210. This sword isn't cruel. It's merciful. Because now you can't unsee what you've seen. Now you can't unknow the truth of who you are. The number was not permission for comfort, it was the initiation of a war within. But it's a holy war. A war of clarity. A war of awakening. And the sword is doing its work. That's why you're dreaming of old places, but no longer feeling drawn to them. That's why you feel peace after saying goodbye, even though your flesh wants to mourn. The sword is working with the number, not against it. And heaven is guiding every stroke. You're becoming lighter, sharper, more focused. The fog that once clouded your mind is now lifting. People who used to confuse you can no longer manipulate your emotions. The sword has refined your emotional intelligence. It's no longer about being nice, it's about being honest. With yourself, with others, with heaven. This clarity is a gift. Don't waste it by second-guessing the divine cuts being made. Every separation now is making space for what was always yours but couldn't reach you through the crowd. Type I am cleared for clarity to get blessing 7093. Your voice is changing. Not in sound, but in weight. When you speak, people listen differently. When you're silent, it speaks louder than before. This is the residue of authority. The number did not just shift your spiritual GPS. It elevated your spiritual posture. You are now carrying light the way a soldier carries a blade, with reverence and with readiness. That's why you don't argue like before. You don't prove yourself. You simply stand. That's what happens when a sword becomes part of you. You don't wave it around. You guard it. And you only draw it when heaven says so. You'll begin to feel when it's time to speak and when it's time to remain silent. You'll know when a conversation is designed to grow you or bait you. You'll know who is spiritually hungry and who is just emotionally draining. The number gave you discernment. The sword is teaching you precision. And with those two working in tandem, you are becoming a dangerous force of the kingdom. Not because you know more, but because you obey faster. Precision isn't about volume. It's about timing. And heaven now trusts your timing. And so, you must walk differently now. More still. More aware. You don't move unless heaven nods. You don't speak unless the code agrees. You are no longer just a person with a pillow full of dreams. You are a warrior holding a silent sword. And the next door you enter will not open because you knocked. It will open because the light in you announced your arrival. Michael left you the number. The sword came next. And what comes after this will change your entire timeline. Get ready. Type I am walking with the sword to get the blessing 9861. Ever since the number was placed under your pillow, your presence has changed dimensions. You are not just seen. You are sensed. Walk into a room, and the atmosphere tightens. Speak a sentence, and even silence seems to respond. You didn't ask for this attention, but the number was not subtle. It was a mark, a spiritual signature etched into your frequency. And the realm has taken notice. Angels now move with you. Shadows scatter before you speak. Even animals behave differently around you. Your aura isn't mystical, it's coded. Coded by light, authenticated by obedience. You were not called to be normal. The number rejected that contract the moment it would receive. Heaven did not interrupt your sleep to make you more palatable. It came to make you precise. And now the realm tracks your movement. Not to harm you, but to verify that the message has landed in the right vessel. You are no longer anonymous. Even in places where no one knows your name, the unseen realm bows. This isn't pride, it's spiritual fact. Michael's visitation wasn't just for comfort. It was for deployment. Type I am verified by heaven to get the blessing 7,900. Lately, you've been seeing the same numbers repeat. 111, 444, 1212. These are not random glances. They are confirmations. Time is no longer a backdrop for you. It is a language. The divine now speaks through rhythm, repetition, and resonance. You are not counting time. You are inside of it. The number under your pillow is heaven's way of initiating divine time speak. That's why deadlines feel different. That's why moments feel magnified. Time is folding in and out around you, not to confuse, but to accelerate. You are now on prophetic pacing. Your life is no longer measured by years. It is measured by obedience. One act of alignment now accomplishes what used to take months of effort. That's how you know you've been promoted. You've entered into favor that isn't logical. Doors that were closed without reason are now opening without explanation. Conversations you once feared now flow without friction. The number activated something ancient, something holy, something tied to a part of you that has never been contaminated by failure. That part of you is now leading. Trusted. Type I am moving in divine time to get blessing 8,647. Heaven is no longer just responding to your prayers. It's responding to your presence. That's why interruptions happen when you walk into places. That's why you notice people shift when you speak. The energy around you is now being monitored by light. The number transformed you into a divine instrument. Not a decoration, not a display, but a weapon. This is why your clarity has increased, why your emotions have quieted. You are now discerning with stillness, not panic, with insight, not instinct. This isn't just maturity, it's mantle. Your mantle was invisible until the number appeared. Now, it moves ahead of you like a shadow made of glory. This is why you're being called into unfamiliar roles, new assignments, strange conversations that feel weighty. They were always yours, but the time was never right. Now it is. That's why delays feel unnatural. That's why waiting feels like fire. You are not impatient. You're accurately timed. The realm is pushing you forward, not because you're ready, but because you're marked. And marked people move before understanding follows. You are no longer waiting for things to return to normal. You're watching the old system dissolve in front of you. What you thought you lost is being replaced with high-quality peace. What you thought you missed is being restored in a new format. The number didn't come to take you backward. It came to call you out of cycles, out of survival, out of people-pleasing. You are not a vessel for worldly approval. You are a conduit for divine correction. And correction, though lonely, is holy. Type I am marked and moving to get the blessing 9,534. You are in the final phase, the last layer of shedding, the final seconds before the unlocking. The number written under your pillow was never meant to stay silent forever. It has been building, burning, writing your alignment from the inside out. And now the atmosphere knows. You may have noticed how everything feels like it's culminating. Emotions are heavier. Conversations feel loaded. Your surroundings seem louder, and yet your spirit feels quiet, sharp, and focused. That's not by chance. That's the vibration of completion. The number didn't come to leave you guessing. It came to bring you into position for revelation. Archangel Michael didn't visit just to warn or awaken. He came to count down. You're not where you used to be, not spiritually, mentally, emotionally. That ache you felt recently isn't confusion, it's proximity. The veil between the seen and unseen is thinner now than it has ever been. You are brushing against destiny, not in theory but in activation. What once felt out of reach is now breathing down your neck. That pressure isn't punishment, it's prophetic momentum. The number is about to speak fully, and when it does, your life will split open with clarity. Type I am ready for the full reveal to get the blessing 9977. You may feel exhausted, even though you haven't done anything physically strenuous. That's because your spirit has been laboring in silence, wrestling timelines, holding vision, defending the promise from doubt. The number placed under your pillow activated more than a season. It activated the angelic guard over your life's most critical assignment. You're in spiritual labor, and the contractions are getting closer together. A release is near. What is about to be born through you has no comparison in your past. And when it arrives, even your memory will shift to make room. This is why you feel flashes of extreme gratitude one moment and deep sorrow the next. Your old life is grieving while your future is crowning. Don't misinterpret the mourning. It's not death, it's delivery. You are not losing anything essential. You are only shedding what can't breathe in the oxygen of your next atmosphere. The number did not come to comfort your comfort zone. It came to drag you out. And now, you are standing at the edge of the most sacred yes of your entire existence. Type I am surrendering to the delivery to get blessing 8080. Even your silence has changed dimensions. What you don't say now carries as much power as what you declare. That's because heaven has shifted the weight of your presence. The number rewrote your frequency, and the realm now listens for your obedience more than your performance. This is why performance exhausts you. You are no longer built for pretending. You're built for truth. And truth is the only language the next chapter of your life will accept. You cannot lie to yourself and move in power. The number came to eliminate self-deception. Your discernment has become dangerous. You see through half-truths. You sense shifts before they arrive. You detect angelic presence mid-conversation. You are not unstable. You are upgraded. Most people walk around numb to the realm around them. You now walk inside it. That's why things feel louder. Colors seem sharper. Time bends around certain people. The number has widened your perception. And what you carry now is the weight of sight. Heaven doesn't just trust you to see. It trusts you to protect what is shown. Be careful who you share visions with. Hold what's holy. You're standing on the edge of announcement. The moment where everything begins to explain itself. That dream you never understood. That repeated number you kept seeing. The door that never opened. The silence is almost over. Michael brought the number to prepare you, not to scare you. The fullness is coming. And when it arrives, it will be immediate, undeniable, and irreversible. You will know it when it happens. Your entire body will respond. Your spirit will stand to attention. And every shadow that ever mocked your purpose will fall silent. Type I am stepping into fulfillment to get the blessing 9752. Right now, this very second, you are no longer who you were when this message began. Something irreversible has taken root inside of you. The number placed under your pillow was never just a heavenly curiosity. It was a key, and you were the lock. The number didn't unlock your circumstances. It unlocked you. It forced your soul to remember what the world made you forget. That you are not just someone drifting through life. You are a chosen vessel carrying an eternal scroll sealed in light. And now, it has begun to speak. Michael didn't speak in thunder. He whispered in silence. He didn't hand you a map. He embedded one in your spirit. He didn't warn you of the war, you were already in it. He simply handed you the sword, and that sword was not made of steel. It was made of identity, of memory, of purpose. What began as confusion is now clarity. What once terrified you has become your training ground. You have felt the fire. You have passed through the unseen gate. And what awaits now is not a reward. It's a rising. Everything in your life that refused to bow to your calling has now been put on notice. The number was heaven's subpoena, a divine legal document alerting every realm that your time has arrived, that your name, your real, hidden, encoded name, is active again. Not for applause, not for fame, but for alignment. You were never ordinary. That ache in your chest, that weight in your sleep, that shift in your dreams, it was never depression. It was preparation. And now, the silence has broken. The reason the number wasn't from this world is because your purpose isn't either. You weren't sent here just to survive and die. You were sent here to intervene, to stand in gaps, to break generational delays, to recover mantles your bloodline let fall. And you've already started. Look around. Listen. Can you feel it? The realm has adjusted itself to your presence. Doors will now open when you walk toward them. Not because of your voice, but because of your vibration. What comes next will not require begging. It will require boldness. And the number has already prepared the path. If this word has spoken to your heart and sparked a new boldness within you, we invite you to sow a super thanks of $20. Your support helps us continue to share prophetic wisdom, encouragement, and strength with those walking the road from pain to promise. You can also stand with us by donating through PayPal. Just click the support here link in the video description. Every gift, big or small, makes a real difference and helps us reach more people with messages of hope and direction. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of divine encouragement, spirit-led insight, and timely truth crafted to move you forward in your journey. Type I have crossed into divine memory to get the blessing 9444.